Welcome back. So today I'm going to continue going through the Learn Accessibility by building a quiz. And actually we're going to start on step 1 here because I recorded the first video, but I was actually a little bit ill, so it didn't come out quite right. But I'm a lot better now. And yeah, we'll get through building this HTML and CSS quiz. So let's start coding. So for step 1, welcome to the first part of the accessibility quiz. As you are becoming a seasoned HTML and CSS developer, we have started you off with the basic boilerplate, which is good because it's kind of been getting a little bit repetitive writing all of that boilerplate with the HTML tags, your head tags and body, and then everything within there. So yeah, that should be boilerplate going forward now. Start this accessibility journey by providing a lang attribute to your HTML element. So we'll do lang equals en for English, and that will also help screen readers in identifying the language of the page. So this whole module is on accessibility, and if that doesn't even sort of mean anything to you at this point, essentially accessibility helps people with perhaps a disability, I guess, whether that be, sort of audio, visual, sort of many different disabilities that there may be. But yeah, it helps them navigate the web page the same as, let's say, an able-bodied person can. So step 2, you may be familiar with the meta element already. It's used to specify information about the page, such as title, description, keywords, and author. Give the page, your page, a meta element. So let's just do that, meta. And we want to give it the appropriate char set. And that is UTF-8, if you remember. So let's see if that passes. Oops, spelled that wrong. UTF-8. There we go. Submit and next challenge. So continuing with the meta elements, a viewport definition tells the browser how to render the page, including one betters visual accessibility on mobile and improves SEO, which is search engine optimization. So add a viewport definition with a content attribute detailing the width and initial scale of the page. So this is still another meta element, and actually I did just paste this from MDM docs over here because I actually got stuck on this because I often use frameworks such as React or Next.js, which you might not have heard of if you're going through freeCodeCamp at this point, but essentially they often provide the meta elements. But anyway, here is the link that I just copied, and here you can see we've got our meta tag. We're giving it the name of viewport, so that's the viewport definition, and the content where the width is equal to the device width and the initial scale is 1, and that is separated. It's actually one long string separated by a comma, and the equals is, I guess, assigning sort of these values, sort of the attributes to them. So let's check that code, and that should pass. So there you go. So step 4, another important meta element for accessibility is SEO and the description element. So let's do meta. Give the add a meta element with the name set to description, and a useful content attribute. So that, let's just say, is like this is our web page, and let's see if that is long enough to pass. There we go. So lastly, in the head, the title element is used for screen readers to understand the content of a page. So title, there we go. So give your page a page title that is descriptive and concise. So this is our page. Oh, excuse me. As I said at the start, I am sort of just coming off the back end of a cold, so there might be a few sneezes in this video and the next, but hopefully I'll be recovered soon. So anyway, step 6, navigation is a core part of accessibility, and screen readers rely on you to provide the structure of your page. This is accomplished with semantic HTML elements. So let's add a header and a main element to your page. So let's just do that, header, and then we also want a main, like so. And then the header element is used to introduce the page and provide a navigation menu. And then the main element is the core content of your page. And these aren't nested within each other. these are two separate elements. So sort of within here will be the navigation, then within here will be everything else that we want to render. Perfect. So step 7, within the header, provide context about the page by nesting one image, h1 and a nav element. So let's just do the h1 first. So h1, this is within the header, and the h1 should be html/css quiz. Oops, quiz. Then we've got an image, and that can be self-closing, and the source can equal this, and we just need to give it an ID of logo, like so. And we also want a nav element, so nav, like that. Let's check that code. So maybe we need to actually have the image above. So to do that, I get a lot of questions on that shortcut there. This is the Command or the Alt key, depending if you're on Mac or Windows, and then just the up and down arrow. So for example, if I'm on this line at the moment, the HTML CSS quiz h1, if I want to move that above or down a line, I can just do that by holding the Option or the Alt key and then going up and down. So anyway, let's check that code now, and there we go. So step 8, a useful property of an SVG is that it contains a path attribute that allows the image to be scaled without affecting the resolution of the resultant image. As you can see, currently this image is a default size, which is way too large. So correctly scale the image using its ID as a selector. So if you remember, we gave it an ID of logo. So let's, with the hashtag and the logo to target that ID, and we want to give it a width, and that is set to max 100 pixels, and then 18 view width, like so. And let's check that code. Oops, there we go. So as described in the freeCodeCamp style guide, the logo should retain an aspect ratio of 35/4. And then there's a couple of other properties, so background color, and I'm actually just going to copy and paste these. If it's just hopefully a little bit quicker. Sorry, there we go. Aspect-ratio, that was 35. 35/4. And finally, a padding of 0.4. Oops. 0.4 rem, like so. And there we go. Now we can see our logo is sort of a little bit more nicely sized. So finally, for this video, step 10, make the header take up the full width of its parent container by setting the height to 50 pixels, set the background color to this hex value, and then use the display to use flexbox. So that's going to be 4 properties that we need for the header. So I'm going to target the header. I'm going to do width, firstly 100%. The height was 50 pixels. Oops. Background dash color. I think I still have it saved there. And then display flex, like so. And let's check that code. Perfect. So we'll submit that, and thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.